Hi there, my name is Richard Andrews and I'm the founder and CEO of Find My Retirement Home, a company that provides independent advice and specialist buyer's agency services to retirees who are looking to purchase a retirement home. In this video, I want to tell you about exit fees and how they apply to retirement home purchases. The exit fee is also known as a deferred management fee, or DMF, or a departure fee. Most of the homes sold in retirement communities around the country use a deferred management fee arrangement. DMF schemes have been structured to work within the state retirement village legislation while seeking to appease our cultural need to own property. This is in contrast to the retirement living sectors in the US and Europe, where the population is much more comfortable with renting. You might also hear a DMF contract referred to as a loan lease or a loan license scheme. In essence, it is an annual fee charged to the resident for each year of occupancy in the village, capped at a set number of years, and calculated as a percentage of either the original sale price or the subsequent resale value of the home. The original intention of a DMF scheme, some 30 years ago, was to allow retirees to buy a unit for 20 to 30% less than the market value of an equivalent freehold unit. The village owner would then make that discount back over the resident's occupancy through the accrued fee. Unfortunately today, retirement village owners charge residents the full equivalent freehold value of the unit as well as the deferred fee. Exit fee contracts are structured around a long-term right to occupy, usually in the form of a lease or license, which the resident of an individual unit executes with the village owner. This is a long-term contract between the owner and the resident and commits the resident to paying a management fee that is deferred until such time as they vacate their unit. The fee is accrued over the duration of the resident's tenure in the property and is physically received by the operator only upon departure of the resident. The fee is usually retained from the proceeds of the resale. Under the DMF scheme, residents also pay a weekly, fortnightly, or monthly fee to the owner to cover the costs of operating the village, such as insurance, rates, utilities, or staffing. The owner of the village also contributes to these costs on behalf of the common areas and, in new complexes, any units yet to be sold. Legislation prevents operators from making a profit on service costs, so weekly fees are usually set at the level of actual total costs, including the owner contribution. Additional services may be offered to residents, such as meals, laundry, and cleaning. The charge for these services to residents may include a profit component, although this is generally held within a reasonable commercial range to encourage use of the service by residents. These services may be provided by the owner or outsourced to third parties. Some services may even attract a government subsidy for the resident. It's important to note that under a DMF scheme, the resident does not actually own the freehold title to their unit. This remains with the owner of the village. Instead, the resident purchases a right to occupy in the form of a lease or license. This occupation right is similar to freehold title in that it costs the resident around the same level of cash to buy it, and they enjoy the rights of occupation similar to that of a tenant in a community titled residential complex, such as a block of flats. Strengths. Exit fee schemes do have quite a few good things going for them. For starters, they are usually larger, better complexes with more facilities. They enjoy better funding and are typically owned and operated by larger professional organisations. Some complexes actually offer to buy back your property if it hasn't sold within an agreed time frame, and the on-site operator will typically manage a refurbishment of your unit for you when you leave and resell the unit. DMF schemes are the most common purchase arrangement around and as such offer a wide variety of accommodation and pricing options. Weaknesses. The downsides of deferred fee contracts is that they feature a heavy fee structure. Freehold title remains with the owner and is not bought by the resident. Due to the volatile nature of the cash flows, there is a substantial owner-operator sustainability risk as well. Resales typically are the responsibility of the owner-manager, whose interests may not be aligned with yours. Refurbishment obligation is usually on the resident at the end of the occupation. There is an ongoing liability to the resident from the village owner, who may go broke. And upon exit, there is an ongoing liability for the resident to continue funding village fees until such time as their unit is resold. Calculating the exit fee. As mentioned previously, the DMF is an annual fee charged for each year of occupancy, capped at a set number of years and calculated as a percentage of either the original purchase price or subsequent resale value of the licence. The fee is accrued annually at each anniversary of the resident's commencement at the village and paid out to the village owner from the proceeds of the resale of the unit. The fee varies between villages, within villages, and also between the states. An example of a typical DMF model is shown here in this table. In this example, we'll use a contract known as a 25/10. That is, a 25% deferred management fee accrued over 10 years. We assume that the fee is spread equally over the 10-year period, so 2.5% is accrued each year, and after 10 years, a total fee of 25% has been accumulated. This is just an example, however, and the total fees can range anywhere from 10 to 20 to 40% or more. Under a DMF scheme, a resident is actually free to vacate the unit at any time, but would be liable for the accumulated portion of the fee if the departure occurs prior to the capped fee year. In this example, if a resident departed in year 5, then they would be liable for the fee accrued to date of 12.5%. If they were to leave in year 12, their obligation would remain at the capped amount of 25%. Some village operators, particularly those with a short average length of stay in their village, front-load the fee into the first few years of a resident's occupancy, instead of averaging the fee equally over the accrual period. Under a 25/10 structure, a village operator might make the first year 8%, the second 5%, and every year thereafter 1.5%. This ensures that a resident in occupation for only 3 or so years actually ends up paying the majority of the deferred management fee. So let's look at an actual calculation of this fee using the same assumptions of a 25/10 contract. The resident purchases a unit for $450,000. After 10 years of occupation, they exit and sell the unit for $750,000. Under this contract, they are obliged to split the capital gains on exit equally with the owner, and we'll discuss this in more detail shortly. At exit, the deferred fee component payable, calculated at 25% of the entry price, is $112,500. The capital gain of $300,000 is shared equally between the resident and the operator and comes to $150,000 each. So, the total return to the resident is $487,500, and the total return to the village operator is $262,500. Note here that the resident has only just broken even after 10 years of capital growth, although this doesn't include outgoings such as sales commissions or the regular village fee. Retirement village sales agents will usually dismiss this away by saying that the purchase is a lifestyle decision and not an investment. And in a way they are right. You're no longer at the asset accumulation stage of your life, and now is the time to be spending the fruits of your labours from the past 50 or 60 years. However, we see no reason not to apply the same level of financial analysis and due diligence to this purchase as if a person was 30 years younger. The deferred management fee scheme is the subject of much angst and bad feeling from retirement community residents. I think this is not so much from the unfairness of the contract, but rather from the lack of understanding of how the contract works, which results in unpleasant surprises for the resident when they consider moving. However, there is no denying that deferred management fee schemes weigh heavily in favour of the village owner. Village owners and developers have invested many thousands of dollars with accountants and lawyers to design contracts that work within the appropriate state laws, yet maximise the profit and tax outcomes for the owner. But is this necessarily a bad thing? It is wrong to assume that retirement village owners who use deferred fee management contracts are profit-minded vultures that don't care about their residents, despite how they may be presented in the popular media. Many not-for-profit operators, such as church groups or benevolent organisations, also use deferred fee contracts. You know, at the end of the day, successful villages are those with well-funded, interested owners. If an owner is making money from the enterprise, they will be more inclined to spend money on the upkeep of the community facilities to keep the complex looking fresh and attractive. No one benefits when a retirement village owner goes broke.